Yo, what's going on, guys? Battle Director BiseProductions coming at you with a mixed tier battle. As you can see, I have a team, mostly UU team. I have Hippowdon, I have Lucario with the Life Orb Lucario. It's amazing E-Speed killer. It has Sword Stance, so yeah, it definitely packs a punch. It's pretty much like a priority revenge killer, because it does have Bullet Punch and E-Speed. Along with Choice Specs and Empoleon just hits like a truck. Support Crobat with Taunt, Roost, Defog, etc. Alakazam, Sash Alakazam, which is a great revenge killer as well. And I do have a Rotom. I love Rotom in UU because, you know, there's things like Swampert and Blastoise, Mega Blastoise. Rotom is all around, it's just a great Pokemon, and it's great in UU. So my opponent is bringing a Ninetales, Ampharos, which is most likely the Mega because nothing else in his team can be Mega, Rotom Wash, Golurk, Togekiss, and Mew. Now his team, I'm not gonna lie, his team is looking a little interesting. It's looking a little interesting. But this battle is actually a great battle. It's a really good battle. So I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Looking at his team, I'm not sure if he had some sort of like a Sun team. I'm not quite sure. So I decided to lead off with my Hippowdon, expecting him to lead off with his Ninetales. And if not, I also wanted to get my rocks up as soon as I can because it looked like he didn't really have any defoggers or rapid spinners, although Togekiss I think could learn defog, but I'm not quite sure. I know Mew can also learn defog, but anyways, I just want to get my rocks up as fast as possible because yeah, it seemed like it would hurt his team quite a bit. So he brought in his Ninetales, he started off with it, and I started with my Hippowdon. It pretty much canceled out his Sun, which I was expecting. So he switches in his Togekiss. I'm not sure what he was predicting, maybe the EQ. That's why I brought in his Togekiss. And from here, when I went for my Stealth Rocks, I was expecting him to go for maybe a Defog, but I just stayed in. I wanted to see what he wanted to do, so I went for the Aura Sphere. I'm pretty sure he was expecting my Empoleon to come in, which is a really good play on his part. He was predicting my either Empoleon or the Lucario, which is very interesting. I wanted to stay in because I want to go for Toxic, but I guess he has like a King's Rock or something because he flinched me with Aura Sphere, and I don't think that could happen. So I went for Dazzling Gleam here, and it did a decent amount of damage, but I went for Toxic because I did really want to go for the Toxic. Start whittling this Togekiss down because it was kind of a threat to my team. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on out here because I don't want to stay in and take another Dazzling Gleam because that one did kind of hurt. So I'm going to switch into my Empoleon now to resist the Dazzling Gleam. However, I switched it in mainly as a pivot because I do think this Togekiss outspeeds, it naturally outspeeds. I think it's base 80 and Empoleon's like base 60 or something like that. It's pretty slow. I don't have any speed investment on this thing. It's just max HP, max special attack. So I'm going to go ahead and just use it as a pivot. I'm going to switch on out of here, predicting the Aura Sphere. I'm going to go right into the Crobat. Predicting the Aura Sphere. And he does go for the Aura Sphere, and this is pretty much going to do not going to do a damn thing to my Crobat because I quad resist fighting. So Sandstorm here is going to subside. He is, for the most part, I predicted him to switch out into the Rotom Wash. So here I'm going to double switch out into the Rotom, predicting his Rotom Wash to come in because I figured he was thinking I was going to go for a Brave Bird. So he's going to go ahead and switch out his Togekiss here, and like I predicted, he brings in his Rotom Wash. Now here, this was basically 50-50 because he could have switched out right into his, he could have switched right out into the Ninetales, predicting the Leaf Storm, but he did stay in, and I did go for the Leaf Storm because this Rotom Wash is a huge threat to my team. Did not want to mess around, and judging by how he stayed in, I'm thinking he might have been Scarf modest because I am Scarf timid. And I did outspeed because there's really no other reason to stay in if you're not Scarfed against the Rotom Wash, against the Rotom. So he did stay in and unfortunately paid the price. So I did go ahead and Leaf Storm him. But he brought in his Ninetales, so that's going to force a switch out into my Hippowdon, basically to cancel out the drought. I don't want him to get any boosts on his Fire Blast. I just want it to be completely neutral. I don't want him to go for Solar Beams. I don't want to do any of that stuff. So I did bring in my Hippowdon basically for Death Fodder. Judging by that damage, honestly I couldn't judge anything by that damage. I wasn't quite sure what this Ninetales was. Honestly though, I was thinking it was like Choice Specs or like Choice Scarfed or something because the way he was playing with it, I don't know, I felt like it was like choice in some manner. But anyways, I brought in my Empoleon thinking I could take anything because I am in the sand. He does bring in his Togekiss, basically his Death Fodder. And I went for the Hydro Pump basically to hit anything hard that I wanted to bring in. But unfortunately I do miss. But anyways, this Togekiss is really low. So again, I'm going to predict him to go for the Aura Sphere yet again, because I don't know, I feel at this point he's playing really obvious. So I'm going to bring in my Crobat yet again. Basically it takes anything Togekiss wants to hit it with, because Dazzling Gleam I do resist, as well as Aura Sphere. So yeah, I just brought in my Crobat. It was a safe switch in, and as you can see, the poison damage and the Sandstorm is gonna take it out. So here I'm just waiting to see what he wants to do, and it does take it out. So he's gonna go ahead and bring in his Ampharos, which is actually a great switch in, because I can't really do much. I mean, I can do a Brave Bird, but it resists it. So that's pretty much the only attack I have. I have Defog, Brave Bird, Taunt, and Roost. I'm gonna go ahead and switch out here into my Rotom-Mow. I switched in my Rotom-Mow because I don't really have any use for it, and I decided, like, okay, let's say if you went for Thunderbolt or something, I could resist it. But actually, as you can see, he goes for Cotton Guard. I was like, damn, this thing. I'm not gonna be able to do much of this thing, to be honest with you. So I am just gonna, like, at this point, I don't really have anything to take on this huge defensive threat. So I just went for Leaf Storm, trying to get as much damage as I possibly can onto this thing, because I couldn't do anything. So he goes for the Power Gem here, which was very interesting. I'm not quite sure what he was expecting. I don't know what he was expecting me to switch in, but he did go for the Power Gem. Not sure, maybe he wanted to play it safe, or, you know, he could have just depulsed me. So here I switched in my Empoleon, predicting him to go for a Dragon Pulse or a Power Gem again. As you can see, I do eat that up. But here I really think he I don't know. I don't know why I stayed in, because I do have Ice Beam on this thing. As you can see, it took it clean out because it is choice specs. But I guess he underestimated the Empoleon's power, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay in and try to Thunderbolt this thing. So here he brings in the Mew, and I wasn't quite sure what this Mew, like, I wasn't quite sure the set this Mew was gonna run. So I went ahead and brought in my Crobat. I brought in my Crobat to see what he wanted to do. So he actually does show that he's packing the Aura Sphere. So the switch into Crobat was pretty good on my part, to be honest. I was thinking that this was like maybe like a defog type of Mew with like Stealth Rock and all that stuff. That's why I brought in the Crobat, so I could go ahead and taunt it. But I decided to stay in because I wanted to just get as much damage off of this Mew as much as I can, because Mew is really bulky. It is really bulky, especially if you run it bulky. But at this point, I saw it, like, I'm not sure if it had any investment in HP or something, because it did take that Brave Bird rather well, and it does have leftovers. So I'm not sure if it was maybe like max. I'm not quite sure. Maybe max HP, max special attack or something. I'm not quite sure. But here I brought in my Alakazam. I am stashed, so I knew I could take any one hit. He wanted to dish out just in case he had Shadow Ball or something, so I went for my own Shadow Ball. It was a crit, although, however, it doesn't really matter because it was a 2-hit KO regardless. But he goes for the Aura Sphere here. I'm not quite sure why. Again, I'm not quite sure what his thinking process was at that point. But anything, I guess he didn't have Shadow Ball, but then the Psychic would have done more damage than Aura Sphere because it was stab. But anyways, he brings in his Ninetales here. Again, I'm not quite sure why, because it's just gonna get 2-hit KO'd by the Shadow Ball. I do outspeed it, so that's why I was like, I wasn't quite sure why he brought this Ninetales in. But the way he brought it in, it also kind of like scared me, because I thought maybe he was Choice Scarfed or something. But as you can see here, it wasn't Choice Scarfed whatsoever, as I do manage to take it out, finish it off. So here he's gonna bring in his Golurk. Now this is a pretty decent switch, because I know it could take one hit that I can give it. I know it can take one Shadow Ball if it is HP invested. Even if it wasn't, I think it can take one Shadow Ball uninvested. So here he's gonna go for an Ice Punch. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, maybe he didn't have the Shadow Punch. Again, I'm not sure if he was over predicting. Maybe he was predicting me to go into my Rotom-Mow. But as you can see, he did go for the Ice Punch, and it did a hell of a lot of damage. You can see Alakazam is very frail. It's very frail. A non-stab Ice Punch did so much damage to me. But anyways, he brought in his Mew, and it was basically GG, because on the switch in, the stones were gonna pretty much take it out. So anyways, this was a fairly decent battle. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, and again, thank you Mount Silver Battles for having me. I hope the audience appreciates these battles. I hope they really enjoy it, and I'll do my best to keep bringing quality content for you guys. And but anyways, yeah, give me some feedback if you enjoyed it, and be sure to check out more of my series. It's basically going to be Wi-Fi battles. It's going to be OU, it's going to be UU mixed here. I might even bring in some Ubers, and also leave me some comments down below to let me know what you guys are interested in watching. I am fairly decent in most of the tiers. However, I am my expertise is in OU and UU. So anyways, leave a like, comment, and thank you for watching, guys. Peace.